Hi guys, it's me Karen and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to do a page in this book here, Mythographic Aviary by Joseph Cat Imbang. And I picked out this page here. Got butterflies, swallows, and I'm assuming this is a little baby swallows in the nest, and these are the parents that are in the background farther. And then we have butterflies in the other ones, and a bunch of flowers. They kind of look like hanging terrariums to me. This one is probably all glass. This one looks to me like it would have like a gold welding in it, along with this one, and then these are glass ones. We're going to see how we get along in this page. It's the first page that I saw in this book that I said, got to do that one. It's got birds on it. Of course, the whole book is that, but I like these birds. So we're going to go in with swallow colors in blue, brown, black, and cream with a touch of brown. So we got to get those out. I've got a really bright blue that we're going to do a little bit on their heads, mommy and puppy. They're farther away. They're not going to be as detailed as the babes here. And then a darker blue color, so like the indigo with a little bit of Indanthrene and a tiny bit of black. If I can ever find my black pencil. It's a rogue pencil. It likes to travel all over the place. We have a little brown ochre, and we need to get kind of a reddish color. So I was going to go in and try to find like a burnt ochre with a little sanguine, which is a nice bright kind of orange color. So those will make the brown color. And then we have to have ivory, I believe. Oh, somebody just threw a lead piece out at me. We'll go in with a little ivory and white in the Holbein color. Pull out the regular 500 in Holbein and the 501, more opaque. I am looking at a picture on the internet. I just Googled in swallow. It's the first one that came up, and I liked the blue colors that it had. So that is the color we're going to use. We're going to work on the babies and then just add the same colors in on mommy and puppy back here. I know that the parents probably are not the same color, but when I was looking, all I'm getting is a pair of birds that do look very similar. So I'll try to make the mom just not as bright as the dad, which is usually the coloration you get when you're looking at birds, because moms do more of the protection. Dads need the coloration to get a mate. So there we are. I'm going to get the camera down a little bit so we can get a little closer to my work and you can see what we're doing. Okay. We are going to work mostly on the little baby birds today. Like I said, we're going to try to get the coloration right, or at least the coloration how I would want it. Your choice. You can make these chickadees. You can make them, other than swallows, you can make them, oh, I don't know, anything you want. They're birds. Your coloration is your, up to you. Well, that one's not going to sharpen, so we're not going to worry about that. Thought I'd get them all sharp first. We're going to start with a little bit of the sanguine color. It's just under the chin, a little bit, and a tiny bit above the nose. So we're going to go right underneath here. Boom, 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 boom. And then just a tiny bit above the beak. Since this guy is kind of showing the top of his head, we're going to spread that across. This one, you're just going to see a little bit here and under here. Okay, just keep it so they look similar. Similar. I can talk today. But a little bit on the side of the eye. Boom. We'll add a little bit of that on this one up here. And we got one over here, so there's going to be a little bit more. And you're not going to see it on the top because we got the bottom up there. All right. Then we're going to take in the burnt ochre and add a little of that. Soften it up a little bit. Pull some of that color out a little bit more. And around. Okay, this is the browner color. We're also going to stick a little down here on this birdie. Kind of in the shadow color. We're here. And I'm not really sure what they're in here, but this is a material for the nesting. So we're going to add a little of that in there too. Kind of splotchy, because this will be kind of like sawdust type thing. A little darker around the butterfly because he would put a shadow in your glass. There we go. Going to bring in a little of the brown ochre. This is a very small little pencil. Add a little of that color in here too. And again, we're just kind of putting it in splotchy areas. Darker underneath this tail for a shadow. And again, where the butterfly is. There. Can bring in the ivory and just kind of go over that. That'll take away all that white. And blend all that other color together. Pull out another brown here. The things you don't see that fall off my desk. They amuse me. I'm going to bring in a little brown sienna. Just to get this a little bit darker here. And a tiny bit of red. Okay. Can leave that for now and get back to my birdie. I'm going to bring in a little of the black. And we're going to take it across the beak. A little here. And bring that color right in. Around the eye. And drop it down. little more pressure there. Beaks are a little black, so we're just going to lightly color the rest of that in. And make sure we get a nice solid line as a disconnect between the feathers and the beak. Okay, I'm going to go across the eye here and bring that down a little bit. And then up here, kind of doing zigzag motions for the feathers. And go around this part of the eye. This part will come out to about here and up. It kind of covers the eye a little bit. Okay, still kind of giving it that feather look by pulling down little sharp lines. Keeping the underline of that eye and the upper darker. Okay. We're going to color the eye black. We're going to make it a little larger, front and back. I'm going to bring it down a little bit into that white line and up into that bigger eye. And a little tiny bit of black down here in this chest. And then we will go over to the wings. We're just going to lightly put the black in here. Just follow the way the feathers are drawn in. And then the tail. Darker line here, those feathers are on top, giving you a shadow. We have to put some blue in here, so I'm just touching it lightly with the black. It will get a lot darker later. It's going to be a tiny bit of shadowing under here, so we'll add that in. And let's see. The black kind of comes up on the back of the head, so we'll add a little bit more color there. Alright, this little guy has got a little black here, a little black here. The black around its face. Beak. Okay. Then we're going to bring in the blue. After I take a sip of tea. Okay, we're going to start off with the lightest. I don't know if that's the lightest. We're going to bring in a really light blue and start with that. So this is the cobalt, light cobalt turquoise. And we're going to add that in. So we're going to build the color here. So the whole top of the head is blue, minus a little spot of white that comes there. The tip of his wing is blue with some white. We'll probably just erase some white areas in that. And we'll go down that way. Same the tip here. Blue up here. There's a tiny bit of the blue that comes off the wing here. We have a leaf. You're not going to see that one. And we have a big flower. You're probably not going to see that one. We can add the black up here for parents. I don't know if you can see both of these guys. Then we can add the blue. Like I said, I'm going to work on these guys a lot more than I am the other guys. The next color we're bringing in is light phthalo blue. And we're going to add some of that in. Doing little lines, again, to mimic feathers. Go right into the black. Bring in the Indanthrene blue. Bring that down into the black. This little one's a little easier. I don't see as much. Okay. Then we're going to go in with some indigo, dark indigo. We're going to get our eraser. The eraser I use is the fat eraser. It's they come in electric or rechargeable. Mine is rechargeable. Also has refillable pieces here, It comes with this tip that gives you the real fine eraser, or it comes with a wider tip with a wider eraser, depending on what work you do. I happen to like the tiny one. Add in a little white in here. Bring some of that color down a little bit. The eraser will collect the color on it. When you're doing this, just use a scrap piece of paper, clean it off, and continue to work. When you look at the anatomy of a bird, this portion is concave, the eye comes out, so you want to kind of make a little lighter area so it looks like the eye is bulging a little bit. You can do that with the eraser and or a pencil. I prefer to give it a little more texture with the eraser. I'm going to go in with the Holbein, and this is the 500 white Holbein. And we're just going to add a little bit of that white at the top of the wing up here. Blend it right into the blue and the black lines there. Softens them both up. Okay. We're going to go around a tiny bit under this eye. Just right there. We're going to leave the top almost black. I didn't do as much detail on her. Or it. And then we're just going to bring that white down. Okay. It's a slightly waxier pencil than the one we were using. Those are oil-based. So you might see a little shine on this pencil. It'll also soften this bird up. I am going to bring in the pencil or pen that I like to use to do the eyes on these guys. This is the glaze Sakura pen. It will leave, we're going to go in here and make this eye black. It is a puffy ink, so it actually raises the eyeball. Before I get too far, I want to have those cute little eyes. Okay. We need to bring in a tiny bit of brown into the wing area over here before we lay down the dark blue colors. And let's see. Go in with a Bistre. And it's like down here in this area. We're going to add that in. Try not to touch the glass. We're also going to add this just down here under the tail. You don't have an under the tail on the other bird, so we'll skip that. Also a little bit of that into our area down here. Just so we have all that color coming back down. Okay. A little darker black there. And then we'll go ahead and put a little black down in here. We have these feathers that overlap the other ones on the other side. This is the middle of the back. Darken that up. And this black comes up a little higher. Just get right under that glass lip thickness, whatever you want to call it, that piece. Okay, and his tail. Using the side of the pencil and putting pressure on it, and then softly bringing up the line. Leaving a portion of that tail light. Okay. Keep working at it until you like it. Little bird over here is going to have a little more of that coloration too. And then the black coming down. Leaving a portion of that guy white. And it needs a little more black around its face. Hopefully the eye is dry. Okay, this guy. That eye was not dry. We'll just go over it. Shadow under that wing. Okay. Okay, for his chest, we're going to go in with the brown ochre, and we're going to just add a little bit of this brown very lightly. On there. Bring in the ivory. Take out the white. Gonna get that into the highlights. Press really hard on some of these feathers and you'll get the highlight on those, leaving the black. Okay. Okay, while we're at it, I'm going to bring in a little distress ink, and I kind of like this blueprint sketch color. It goes with the blue of the bird. This is a Tim Holtz or Ranger detail tool. It's a little sponge on the end of a dowel. And we're going to just take it and add in a little bit of that brighter blue there. Come up. And a little bit down here. Just barely touching the page. Add some of that in the tail. All right. Now we can go in with the 501 in the Holbein pencil. This one will give us a opaque coloration on top of anything we put it on. We're just going to add a little highlights here and there. See if our eye is dry, and it is. We're going to add just a little bit of a white in there. I'm going to go over that eye. We're going to connect those. Give it a little bit of a white right across that wing and a little bit in here. Okay. Maybe a tiny in here. Okay, we're going to redo that eye. There. When it's dry, we will be doing the same thing we do on the other side. Is we're going to put a little dot in it like that. And let that dry. It's got to do its thing first, though. Okay, we'll get out some pencils for some greenery here. I've got earth green, and we're going to put it in this grass here. Darken it at the bottom and then leave it a little lighter going up. Darker on the tips so you'll be able to see them. I think that's a petal for the flower. If it's not, it's gonna be. And then there's some green in here. Okay, then we're going to get the olive green yellowish. Give it a nice sharper point and go down in here and just lightly bring that up. Brighten the middle of those out. Then we're going to bring in the ivory and lighten it in the middle. And add our highlights to our lowlights. I think that's part of the bird, so we're just going to color that in. Blend all those colors together. Then we're going to shadow it with some sepia, if I can find that pencil. No, it's nougat. There we go. Dark sepia. Just to shadow anything here. Give it just a little bit more depth. And we're going to go in here and add it too. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of distress ink into that also. Yeah, there goes everything else. We're going to bring in some gathered twigs. And hopefully I can find a stick that has a little brown on it. It's got a little brown. And we're just going to go in here. Add that in. Put a little on the greenery too. Just pull it out from the bird's tummy. Like that. If you don't use distress ink, you can go ahead and do that with a pencil, but my hand is starting to hurt, so I'm just doing it with the ink. You know, if you follow me, how much I like my ink. There we go. Cute little birdies. We have the flowers to do, and I think we will be doing those in kind of a light pink. So we'll go ahead and add in the Holbein cherry blossom, which will color most of that petal. So just add it on top. I've got to find the leaves in this thing. This is a very light pink. One of my favorite colors to use on anything I want light pink. It is no longer in the Holbein pencil case. It is in with my Polychromos. I'll color over those stamen pieces, and I'll go back with the yellow on those. Okay, all of those petals. Leaf, leaf. Is there any of these petals anywhere else? Well, they're all, any flower is going to be colored this way. I'm not going to worry about those. There we go. And petal there. Okay. Then we'll go in with the color rose pink and darken some of this. If the petal has a curve, that's a darken point outside of the curve. It's in a shadow. Bump, bump, and that's a bump. Okay, if the leaf is covering something, it's shadowed. If it's a new petal, one will be on top of the other. Make it a shadow and just blend it. It's a leaf. Okay, go back in with the lighter pink. Make sure it's all blended just by going over it all. We're going to go over it with a white in a minute. You can put a little of that light pink on the leaves. Okay, we're going to go in with earth green. Color the other half of the leaf. Bring it down into the stems. A little of that earth green into the bud. No idea if there's anything over there. Any other leaves I've missed? Take a little of that green and put it in the center of each flower. Okay, then we'll get a, well, what do we have here? Green gold. That'll add a nice touch to everything. I just add it in. It brightens up some areas, and we're just going to go over a little bit here and there. Not a big bit, but a little bit. Add it into the grass over here. Brightens up the page a little bit. Add it in the dirt, or whatever this stuff is. Well, it's like 10 layers I put in there, and we're going to add it into the center of these flowers. Okay, bring it up in the petal if you like. There we go. The background is all going to be done in ink, and I will be bringing all that color into the sections that it is not covering right now. We're going to do it kind of in a blue ombre effect, doing it darker. The top and the sides, bringing it light. This is our focus. That's why we're spending so much time trying to make them adorable and cute. All right. I can't add any white details to anything that is outside of the main area. The Distress ink will resist the pencil work that I put down. One, I did use a lot of the Holbeins in here. Holbeins have got wax. Distress ink is water-based and will not color over wax. The Polychromos, it probably will, but I did all the polychromo work on the center of these things, and I'm just going to go on the outside and add the color around those particular things. If it's a blue ink and I put it on green, it will just highlight the green a little bit more, especially since I put yellow on it. Yellow and blue do make a shade of green, so I just keep that in mind. The big butterflies are going to have that same effect on them, so everything that is colored with a pencil will resist the ink. If any ink gets on there to make a color I don't like, you can get a little bit of water and wash it right off. I just take a little washcloth, rub it. Sometimes if I get it quick enough, I can take the eraser, but then you will be erasing your pencil work, so you got to be careful about that. Anyway, let's see. Those flowers need a little bit more highlighting, so I'm just going to go in with the eraser and pull some spots up. Same in the leaves, just to get the veins a little bit more details than I put them. Like I said, my hand is a little painful, so the eraser is my best friend. And I just go around and erase some areas and get those highlights in for myself. You can also do this with a white pencil if you want. I'm going to see if I can't get any pencil or ink out of here. If I can't, it's not a big deal because I will be going over all those white lines with a Posca anyway, which is acrylic paint. It'll go over those colors. So there we go. Let me get that dusted here, since I just got eraser bits all over it. Get our cute little guy to have a bit of color in his eye. And a little bit of a white. Get that out a little bit right on the underside of his beak. And if you want, you can add little pin feathers in here. Like I said, I'm not doing Distress ink down where the birds are. So we can add some little white fluff in here. Oh, that's a green leaf. Let's see if I can't get my eraser and erase some of that stuff that's in that green leaf, and that just darken it a little more than it is. Okay, then we add in our green. Green, darker green, darker green. Where is it? Right on the tip here. And then a little of the dark sepia. That leaf goes down in here somewhere. Get that tip a little darker. Tiny bit of blue because I erased a little bit of it. Back in with our If you think those are too white, just bring in a pencil and lightly go on top. Don't want to go too hard, it will scratch it off. Going just lightly, it'll take off the bright white. Okay, I'm going to take a little of the sepia, turn the book, and just kind of darken those areas. Tiny shadow under this leaf. Under this one. Then I just go around and play with the shadows. Okay, that'll be it for today. When we come back, we'll do, well, Mom and Papa will be done the same coloration, but they're going to be a little lighter. Black wings, maybe a little tip of white on their tail feathers because they're flying. So I'll just color them off camera same way. I hope you guys are enjoying, and I will see you in the next part. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section down below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And as always, I'll leave all the pencils I used in the description box. Just click it open and you can see them all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye now.